So just want to give a big thank you to each and every one of you that have joined and gone through the whole Nutrition Unfiltered Summit. This was for No Kids Hungry. We really appreciate everyone that has donated and has brought their time and their questions. People like Carrie, Andrew, Sai, a lot of people have really commented. We appreciate that. I want to give a big thank you to everyone that has presented, like Coach Matt Smith with that workout this morning. We had GB with that protein French toast. We had Andres with his bulletproof strategies. We had Alex with the macros. We had a lunch break Matt with the yoga. Bless up, Matt. That was really helpful for us. After that, we had Jenna Werner, Happy, Strong, Healthy. From there, we went over to emotional eating with tips from Tony. Then Desi with the snacking, which I hope you guys got a snack in before getting into the booze. All right? I always tell my clients, make sure you get something in that stomach before you decide. Welcome. And finally, my name is Tony Castillo, and I'm excited to talk to each and every one of you. So in the comments section, can you guys all put if you guys drank a sip of water today? Just put yes or no. Let's just start there. Nice and simple. I see yes, yes, yes. Hydration boss. Yes, I love it. Everyone drinking water. That's a positive thing. Let's see.
Gotta
reach over. Mute someone. When you guys hop on, if you guys could please mute. Got it. All right, guys. So much water. Everyone's been saying hydrated. I absolutely love that. Hydrate or dihydrate. So why do I say hydrate or dihydrate? Well, when I was in college, I always carried around this water bottle. My friends would always make fun of me. I'd go to class. They're like, dude, you're always drinking water. And I'm like, yeah, I want to stay hydrated. And I never knew why, right? I went to school. They didn't give us a hydration class, right? They spoke about how it's 60% of our body, and they gave us some important tips on it, but really, not really much. I actually did a series called Captain Hydrate where I dressed up as a superhero and gave tips on nutrition. If you haven't seen it, go to @coach_Tony Castillo on my Instagram, and it's there. And I just posted one, I think a few days ago, and a mom reached out to me. And the mom said, thank you so much for posting that. My son saw that video, and because he saw a superhero tell him to drink water, he drank more water. That was amazing for me, because if I can get people to drink more water, my deed is done. So hydrate or dehydrate is just really trying to get people to drink more water because we're always dehydrated. And as Tony spoke about in her session, sometimes being thirsty can trick us into being hungry. So we definitely want to make sure that we drink enough water and listen to our internal cues. So that's the first thing. So as I told you, I drink a lot of water, and my friends don't even want me to go on road trips with them because I always tell them to stop to use the bathroom. So what I found that really worked effectively was to stop and go to the bathroom, right? That's all we were going to do. I'm sure you're at home now thinking, well, have I been hydrating enough? So put in the comments, are you hydrating more or less now? Are you drinking more water, or are you drinking less water than you are at the office because you could get up and go to the water cooler, right? Or you're sitting at your desk all day, you might have children distracting you or other things going on. Less, I see a lot of less, a lot of more, so mixed bag. Depends on the day, exactly. And with this new working from home strategy, do we need to be drinking more? Because a lot of people from Jersey and New York I saw earlier, they're walking typically more when they weren't working from home. So do they need more water? Well, I was in Austin, Texas about 2 years ago, and a waitress came up as we were somewhat hungover, to be honest with you. We were brunching, and she came up and we said, well, we would like mimosas, but we'd also like a water. And she literally said, hydrate or dihydrate. And that has stuck from that point on. And it's kind of my hashtag, as they say, to kind of get people to motivate themselves to drink water and have enough water. So, you know, what are the signs and symptoms of dehydration? How do you know if right now you're sitting in quarantine and you may be dehydrated? So some things, if you've ever been hungover, you know, you have a headache. You might be nauseous. Your productivity might not be as well. And these hunger cues of bored eating, just like Tony said, a great strategy, is having a glass of water. Funny enough, our body is 60% water. And in the old school system of grading, that's a D, right? On the 100% scale. Now, if you were to get 2 to 3% dehydrated, which would knock you to an F, your performance goes down by 10%. That's a lot. I mean, if you think about the productivity you do, the work you do, if you were to turn in something to your boss that's 10% less of the work you're used to, that might not look so good, right? They might be like, well, when working from home is over, we're definitely not going to let this person work from home. So we definitely want you to be hydrated. So how much is enough water? I always tell my clients, let's start with half your body weight in water in ounces. Why? It's just a simple goal to start with. So if you only drink 1 cup of water or one of these bottles a day, go ahead and try to make 2 your goal for the next week. And from there, slowly but surely start adding more and more water until you reach that half of your body weight in ounces goals. And we're actually going to talk right now, what is the WUT method, W-U-T, on how you can monitor your hydration status right now during the quarantine. So first things first, what? W-U-T, what? W is weight, for weight. And I know a lot of the dietitians on here, we talk about stop fearing the scale and stop using the scale as a marker. Well, we're not using it as a marker. We're using it as a performance-based effect to see how much hydration you have. So what do I mean by that? With a lot of these home workouts, I know I've been running a lot more. Let me know in the comments if you've been doing at-home workouts, maybe more Peloton, right? Or maybe your gym has been posting things online. So what the scale tells you is when you weigh yourself before and weigh yourself after, for every pound you lose, you need to rehydrate with 16 to 24 ounces of water. I'm going to repeat that. For every pound you lose, you need to drink one of those 16-ounce bottles of water up to 24 ounces of water for every pound you lose. I worked with football players, and one of them actually lost 10 pounds in practice. 10 pounds. That means they had to drink 160 ounces of water after that practice to be hydrated for the next day. That's a lot of water. That's over a gallon of water. And this was 11 o'clock at night. So we have some strategies, and we'll go into some of those strategies you guys can utilize. But yes, you lose water weight when you go running, when you do these types of physical activities. So you want to make sure for every pound you lose, you drink another bottle of water for every pound you have lost. So that's the W. The next one is U, for W-U-T, for what? U is urine. So I'm going to pick these up. Let's see. Can you guys see these? Thumbs up. All right, I have my wife behind me, so she told me she can see it, so I'm going to trust in her. So we have clear, we have lemonade, we have apple juice, and we have the very dark one. We're going to go from right to left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 is light, 4 is dark. Put what your urine color has been during this quarantine. 1, 2, 3, or 4. And I know it's a little embarrassing to put it on there, but I promise you no one will judge you. We're only here to help you. 2 to 3, 2, 2 to 3, 1 to 2, 2, 2 to 3, 2, perfect. So what I like to tell my clients I work with, we want like number 2, light like lemonade. That is the sticky note for sure. 3 for sure in the morning. Yes, for sure in the morning. And we're going to talk about that in a second, about sleep and hydration. So we always aim for light like lemonade. If you get nothing else from this talk, you want your urine to look like light like lemonade. And you can monitor your status when you go to the bathroom. Unlike one of my clients who put one of the blue toilet bowl cleaners, and she asked me, how do I rate that? I told her, well, we're going to have to wait till that runs out. So why don't we want it at a 1? A lot of people say, Tony, but it should be clear. And I've worked with clients where their urine is clear, and I've had clear urine, so it's not a bad sign, but we don't want that because it's not optimal for performance. What happens is if your urine is completely clear, there's not enough electrolytes in your body. So that can mean cramps. I worked with an athlete who had full body cramps. That means they went out to play and just cramped up all over. We had to pull them off the game and get them some electrolytes. So we don't want that to happen. Now, typically, after a long night of either sleeping or drinking, Jenna, your urine could look like this dark color, like apple juice. That just means we need to add some more water. Nice and easy. Now, if it looks like this, you probably need to go to the hospital, right? And I was working with someone, and I never thought in my career as a dietitian, someone would say, Tony, come look at the urinal. And I said to myself, oh Lord, what am I getting myself into? I looked at the urinal, and it looked like this. I told this person, are you joking? Did you pour something in the toilet? And they said, no, this is my urine. I thought you'd find it funny after we had just discussed hydration. Well, this person was a baseball player. He decided the day before to go golfing and go drinking with his buddies, and the next day he had to play. Let me tell you, he's a pitcher, and if you know pitching, you throw a ball. He couldn't last 1 inning. He gave up 10 runs, which is not good. And he had a headache. He had nausea. And we tried to get him rehydrated, but he told me this an hour before because he hadn't urinated all day. So if you have something that is this dark, you definitely need some sort of electrolytes and water. Now, that's the what. So WU, weight, is when you're doing some sort of performance exercise. The U is your urine color. Finally, T, thirst. Just like Tony said, you can't trust thirst. I remember Sprite had Obey the Thirst. That was their campaign. Well, you can't. Your thirst is so close to your hunger in your brain, those two signals, that when you're thirsty, you think you're hungry. And you actually just need some water, which I'm going to stop right now and do. And I highly recommend you do the same. So that 2 to 3% sense of dehydration, which took us from a 60% of your water, of your body being water, to a 58, well, now you're thirsty, or you're hungry, or you don't know. So we want to make sure you never get thirsty, because that is a false indicator. So you want to make sure that you stay hydrated, and you should be drinking water all day. Now, one of my favorite topics to talk about is electrolytes. So what are the main electrolytes? Why do you hear about it in things like sports drinks, right? So we have sodium, potassium, magnesium, and chloride. And someone asked about magnesium in one of the previous sessions about sleep. But what happens is if you're someone who's a heavy sweater, you typically sweat out sodium, potassium, magnesium, and chloride. So that extra magnesium you sweat out, you need to replenish it. Now, everyone is very individualized on how much they sweat out of each one. So if you're a salty sweater, you might get a white line on your shirt after you do some sort of activity, or even a white line on your hat. If you've ever seen that, that makes you a salty sweater, right? So what does that mean? How can you work with that? So when I talk about sports drinks, we talk about the low sugar sports drink, the no sugar sports drinks, and then the full sugar sports drink. So let's start with the no sugar. If you're someone who's doing under 45 minutes of physical activity, then a no sugar sports drink is all you need, because it has the sodium and potassium. Some of those that I love to recommend are the Gatorade Zero or the Powerade Zero. I'm not a big fan of Body Armor, and I'll tell you why. The same reason I'm not a fan of coconut water for hydration purposes. So we want to hydrate with sodium, potassium, magnesium, and chloride, with sodium and potassium being the two main electrolytes that are important. And I'm sure all of you have heard of sodium. It's salts, right? You can get it from food. So why do we need this sports drink? Like I said, some people are salty sweaters. Now the second one is potassium. What happens is, though, when you have something like the Body Armor or coconut water, and you can look on any label, it's a lot higher potassium and very little sodium. So what happens is, in your muscles, you have a sodium-potassium channel, and we want to balance it out. So what happens when it's overbalanced, when we have too much potassium from things like coconut water or Body Armor, you can actually cramp up. So one thing we suggest is adding some salt to your coconut water if you're a big fan of coconut water. I'm not against it. I'm just not for it if you're using it for hydration. Make sure you add some salt to it. So definitely, now we're going to talk about G2. That's when you do physical activity between 45 minutes and 90 minutes. Now we're talking about continuous physical activity, nonstop. Not like going for a walk with your dog for an hour, right? We're talking about going for a run for 45 to 90 minutes. Now over 90 minutes, that's when you can have a full sugar Gatorade. And we'll actually talk about these drinks again when we talk about alcohol, because that's the next piece. So some strategies for you guys if you found yourself drinking less water during this quarantine. I'm going to give you two. Number one, have a water bottle at your workstation, okay? If you have a water bottle at your workstation and make it dedicated to there, you'll always remember to have it. One thing I found with my clients is that they try to bring it with them all over the house. Guess what happens? They decide to work, then they go watch some TV, and they leave the cup there, and they forget to drink all day. So keep one water bottle right next to your workstation, wherever that may be. The next strategy is use your phone. Put a timer on, right? You can put a timer on for every hour to remind you, like, oh, that's right, I should drink some water. You know, that's a very simple one. So those are two very easy strategies you can start implementing today. Now, the fun part of today is booze. Let me know in the comments what your favorite drink is. Are you a whiskey person? Are you a tequila person? Are you a rum person? Are you a beer person? Are you a wine person? Let's see. Disaronno, look at that. Tequila, red wine, mojito, beer, wine, gin, rum, wine, margarita, prosecco, sangria, all of it. Norma, I see you with the vodka. Lisa, all of it. I love that. I'm team all buzz on this. Wine and cider beer. Ooh, love that. White wine, vodka mules. Loving all those drinks. So let's talk about how hydration and alcohol can impact you, right? So one rule I used to give out was, with every drink you have a water drink. Well, it didn't work out because people would forget. After 2 to 3 drinks, maybe a friend slides in a shot, they forget to get that extra water. So simple strategy that I recommend for you is, if you know you're gonna go out drinking, what is the amount of waters you wanna have that night? Is that 3 waters? Is that 4 waters? Is that 2 waters? Is that even 1 water when you go out? That way you make it successful instead of trying to have one with every drink because maybe the bar is packed where you go, or the waitress or waiter hasn't come yet. So make sure that you can have, you know, if you're gonna go out and have a couple drinks, you know, say, I'm gonna have 2 cups of water today. That's an easy strategy. Now, I know a lot of people have been drinking more during the quarantine. I've seen a lot of people on Instagram post 2 to 3 bottles of wine a night now, and that can add up. Not only can it add up, but it affects your sleep and your hydration. So Andres made some great tips when he was talking how to implement those sleep strategies, and Alex spoke about those macros coming in and how it can affect you, and making a balance of it. And then Jenna said, you know, be happy with what you're drinking. And I completely agree that. Don't choose a drink because you heard it was low calorie, right? Choose a drink you're gonna enjoy. Another strategy is choose the fun drink first. So if you're someone who's a big IPA fan for beers, have that first, because those typically tout about 300 calories, and then go for light beers after that. Or if you're someone who really likes an old fashioned, which we'll make today, get that old fashioned first, then switch over to whiskey. If you're someone who loves margaritas, get that first margarita the way you like it, then, you know, choose lime juice and tequila as after that. So have a fun drink first and then move into it. So back to sleep. I brought my little whiteboard. I know everyone did PowerPoint, but, well, got my whiteboard today. Decided to try something different. So as you see here, we have cortisol and we have time. Cortisol is your stress hormone. And what happens is, typically, got my marker here, your cortisol when you wake up is at its highest, and as the day goes by, it goes down, right? Because we don't need stress when we go to sleep, and that can actually affect your sleep. So in the morning, cortisol is the highest stress hormone because it's trying to wake you up. And your melatonin, which you produce naturally, starts to increase as the day goes on. But let's talk about cortisol and alcohol. How many of you have ever heard of a nightcap? Go ahead, put in the comments, yes, you've heard of a nightcap. I know it's an old strategy that people used to say, oh, I'm gonna have a nightcap to help me go to sleep. It's gonna help me sleep better, right? Well, unfortunately, when you drink alcohol, your cortisol goes up. So your stress hormone goes up. So instead of this happening, let's say you decide to have brunch with your friends. Cortisol stays up, and it stays up the rest of the day. So you may think you're getting a deeper sleep when you're having that nightcap or going out to drink, but you're actually having very poor quality sleep because your stress hormone is up all day. And that's why when you wake up the next day, you might feel refreshed, but in that mid-afternoon, you want a nap. And that's because your cortisol finally decided to drop the next day. So we want to ensure that if you are going to drink, be aware that your cortisol will be elevated. Now, what you can do to help with that, again, is to stay hydrated, right? Because when you drink alcohol, you get dehydrated and you increase that level of cortisol. So those are 2 things when it comes to sleep and then hydration. So as I said, you want to drink 1 to 1. And you might say, but Tony, when I go out drinking, my urine looks clear. Well, that's because alcohol is a diuretic. So it actually makes you go to the bathroom more, right? So at first it looks like you're staying hydrated, but then you wake up in the morning, looks like this buddy right here. And we want to avoid that. So what you want to do is make sure you have a water right next to your bed as a great strategy. Now, that's how you can kind of figure out your hangovers. And we definitely don't want you to do Tylenol. And I know that's been an old school strategy because Tylenol actually works on your liver. And guess what else works on your liver? You got it, alcohol. So those are some strategies. If you are going to drink, make sure you have some napping strategies set up for the next day. If you have kids, make them aware that you're probably going to nap the next day. And then if you are going to drink, let's make some better choices. We're going to talk about a few. Thank you very much. Got my ice here because it is hot in Florida. So we're going to make 3 cocktails today. We're going to do an old fashioned. We're going to do a margarita. And we're going to do a vodka soda. So let's start with the vodka soda. Nice and easy. Got a bottle opener. And I chose Topo Chico just because I like the flavor of it. It has a stronger lime flavor. Put that here. Now, why don't I use tonic? Especially now, we all heard that the quinine is helpful with malaria, but this new study with the COVID, well, they've been saying it might be helpful, but we're not sure yet, so don't trust it. However, when you do tonic water, it's actually full of sugar, and I'm sure most of you didn't know that. I actually just spoke to a client that said, I thought I was doing the right thing by having tonic water and soda. And I'm like, well, you were doing the right thing if it was club soda. So let's start with 2 ounces of vodka, using a heavy pour. If you can handle less, do less. That's the first one. And then I'm gonna do 2 parts of the soda water. Now, the reason I use a flavored soda water is because I think it gives it a little better of a kick and makes it taste better. Now, again, if you're someone who doesn't like club soda, actually we're gonna do 3 parts, just wanna mix it up a little bit. If you're someone who doesn't like club soda, then don't do this. But it's a lower calorie drink. This drink has about under 100 calories, and you can get it pretty much anywhere. We're gonna mix that up. I'll let you guys know how it tastes. Cheers. Delicious. So this you can definitely have when summer comes back, right? Because I know it was snowing earlier this week in the Northeast. So the next drink I want to make is, there's a question. What about using flavored vodka? Does it have more calories? Great question, Charlene. Can you point to the screen so they can see it? Oh, okay. So flavored vodkas typically do have some sort of sweetener to it. So I prefer you stick to just the regular vodka and try to find a flavored like LaCroix, Topo Chico, Polar, I think is very popular in the Northeast. But the flavored vodka, some of them do have sweeteners added to it. So try to stay away from those. So because it can add more calories. Great question. So for the, oh, look at this. Thank you for this. We use a round cube for this. We're making an old fashioned. So I'm a big fan of old fashioned, and typically when you go out, they use simple syrup. Simple syrup is 1 part sugar, 1 part water, boiled, and it makes a syrup. So we're gonna do 1 part bourbon. Always gotta use bourbon, one of my favorites. Now, this is a product called Swoon. Big shout out. For those attending, you will be getting a goodie bag at the end of this, and there's a discount code for Swoon, and this is their simple syrup. They use monk fruit. So it's a 0-calorie sweetener. Now, if you don't have a 0-calorie sweetener, I've used stevia and water before. If you do want to use a simple syrup just because you really like that flavor of sugar, then just have one and then switch to a whiskey drink. You always want to put bitters. So bitters do have calories and alcohol, but you don't want to put a lot. Got a little stopper on it. Just put 2 dashes. 2. Perfect. Now we're going to mix it up. Ooh. Nice and mixed. Gonna get fancy. Little orange slice. I don't know about you guys, but I'm always scared to use these because I think I'm gonna slice my thumb off. Let me know if you've ever used one of these. My wife actually used a mandolin once and cut like her whole thumb off, and that was not fun. So we're gonna use this, kind of make it fancy, right? Make it go around, get a little flavor, drop it in. Bottoms up. Tastes just like an old fashioned. The last one we're gonna do is a margarita. Why? It's almost summer, as I said, and sometimes these whiskey drinks can be a little heavy. So Swoon also has 3 mixtures that they sent to us. We have the margarita, the cucumber mint, and then the ginger lime, but we're gonna do the margarita today because I wanna make a little tequila drink. I'm gonna drop that in here. 2, 3. This is actually mezcal. I prefer the smokiness from it. Mezcal and tequila are the same thing, just from different regions. And mezcal is just smokier, mostly. And if you go to Mexico, they actually have different regions where every mezcal is from. And each one is just slightly different. Some aren't as smoky, but this one is very smoky. I just prefer the smokiness flavor. I'm gonna do that. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming. And then the Swoon mixer, again, this is 0 calories. So when it comes to that mindful drinking, if you can have drinks at home with your friends, maybe after dinner, this will not only save your budget, but when you're doing social distancing, right? You can have this drink at home and save the calories instead of adding all those sugary sweetener mixes. So again, this is sweetened with monk fruit. We're gonna add lime garnish. Look at that. Cheers. It's like having a margarita out. So those are the 3 drinks that are very easy to make at home, especially during this quarantine. If you don't have Swoon products, that's completely fine. Just try to find a low-calorie sweetener. I've heard some people that like it with Splenda. I personally like to use stevia. If you don't want any sweeteners, you can use the vodka drink with the spritzer, as I like to call it, or a soda water. So with that, guys, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming to the summit. We're about to open up for happy hour here. I'm going to choose, I don't know what I want. I got 3 drinks now, but cheers to you guys. And remember to hydrate or dihydrate.
That's so awesome, dude. Thank you so much. We do have like GB just here with me, and she's saying that you know, when COVID ends, you can come to our house. She'll make the drinks, she'll make the food, and I'll just sit and enjoy.
Well, I didn't
Done deal.
say the last part. You should be helping somehow, but you're definitely in charge of the
Done deal.
Good.
Yeah, so for you guys, so for some of you guys that are still on here, make sure you grab your drink. This is gonna be kind of like a lunch and learn, but a little more fun because we do have some alcohol involved. We just wanted to give you guys some like updates on the donations because you guys are still hanging in here with us in your awesome Saturday. So we raised closer to a little over $1,400, like, you know, thing. But that's not as important as actually where that goes. So No Kid Hungry, for every $1 that is donated to them, the cool thing about this organization and why we picked it is because they can generate 10 meals out of every $1. So if we do the math, for $1,400 that we donate, that we raised in this process, we're creating 14,000 meals. Now, if you take 3 meals for every kid and then you split that by basically like a day, like we're talking about you guys help feed closer to 4,500 kids for one day. So that is super impactful. That's why we did this, because there's a lot of there's about 800 million meals that are not being served because of school closures. So you guys being here and learning and donating, it's extremely valuable. Now, you're still on time to donate. We actually opened like the link that we have on here that I'm putting on. It's still going to be able to be added on here. I just put the link on there. So you're still able to donate through tomorrow at 6 p.m., I believe, Tony, that the link is up. Of course, right. You can always go back to their website, but this is the link where it goes directly through us. So we know exactly how many people actually donated through the news and through Nutrition Unfiltered Summit. So that, just wanted to give you a little breakdown of that. At the same time, I mentioned that there's a goodie bag that will go to all attendees, and that's coming to you guys along with the recordings. I think on Monday or Tuesday, we're going to try to get all this stuff over to you. The goodie bag has things like, I don't know, Jenna was like the sponsor queen here, so she's the one that can tell you all about it. And then also Tony helped get some stuff as well.
I don't have my list up.
Come on, Jenna, be prepared.
We have discounts from Swoon. We have discounts from Clean Athlete. I know that off of the top of my head.
Buy the proteins.
But no.
Bada Bean.
We have a discount from Bada Beans. We have a discount from Swoon, Enlightened, Liquid IV, Siggy's Yogurt, Nod Pods, Clean Athlete, Collie Power, Toasted Oat Granola, and I think that's it. Yes. That's it.
Lots of options. Lots of options.
Yeah, so we're definitely, if there's any more questions, like we'd love to answer them. If not, obviously, I'll share what I'm drinking. So I'm either rum or whiskey guy. So I have Diplomatico rum in here, which is a Venezuelan rum. Me and GB are from Venezuela, so we're born and raised there. And we're mixing that up with Licor 43, which is actually like aperitif, I think they call it, or nightcap, some people call it. It's really go well with coffee, and I mix up a little coffee in there, so I get a little extra kick. I was a little tired, and then we're gonna have a little Saturday like home party, I guess, that we're gonna get to enjoy. So.
Okay. So guys, I want to share a funny story. So I didn't have a chance. I have no alcohol in my house, like whatever. And I needed to go to the liquor store, and I had a feeling the one right below me was closed. So I went to one all the way down the street. and they were like too busy and they couldn't take me, and I knew I couldn't be back by 5. So I went into the restaurant next to it, and I was just like, can I just have like 4 shots of tequila?
Yeah, that's how we do it.
I was going in to get a bottle of tequila to keep in my apartment, and then like I didn't know what to do, so I had them actually separated into 2 containers, so I knew what I was drinking. So this has 2 shots of tequila, and then if I'm feeling feisty and I want to have more, I have another one that's like 2 shots, or I could take it out and separate it, or I could save it for another day. But anyways, my drink, after my long story, is tequila with grapefruit seltzer. And normally I just do fresh lime juice, and I don't really need a sweetener or anything, but I just have 1 lime, and just squeezing a lime is different than like going to a bar and asking for like lime juice. It's just not enough. So I squeezed a half a lime, and then I added a stevia to it.
Nice.
And it's not bad.
Somebody asked on here, Andrew asked like liquid IV, what is it?
Here, sorry. She's
Liquid IV is actually the last piece of your talk right before you went into the Diedrate section. About rehydration products for electrolytes. And I remember when I was checking out Liquid IV, I was like, oh, this fits all of Tony Castillo's criteria. So I know it's a good product. But as far as the sodium and potassium channels for rehydration, it's all good stuff on that one. But they have 4 different product lines. There is an energy that's mixed with green tea. There is a sleep product that I believe has more magnesium in it, and then there is an everyday hydration product for those times that Tony was just mentioning, when you're extra sweaty. I've learned something today. I'm a salt sweater.
Yeah.
I'm glad you could learn something today.
Okay. But the product's really good, and you guys will get 25% off.
Oh yeah,
Alex
showing them up. Yeah, so Alex is showing them right
Yes.
there.
Good for a hangover.
That
Yeah.
as well.
So,
Tomorrow morning.
yeah, that's
What are
gonna
you
be.
shaking?
I was gonna mention the whole thing hangover cure. Like this is like, you know, we guys are like your cool dietitians to talk about how to
And this podcast is called
But
Drunk
the best time
Dietitian.
to take an electrolyte drink is always going to be not the morning of. That's still important, but Tony can correct me, but right after you finish your drinking, and that's going to help actually completely, if not all, eradicate your hangover, hopefully. I think I went to like a wedding in Mexico, and I still had to get up and work because like I think the wedding was like on a Thursday. And I remember I think it was either liquid IV or there's another, like, I think it was like drip drop. And they had, and literally like the next morning woke up like and felt like a lot better. So like Tony was saying, dehydration is the biggest thing that happens as a result of like, you know, alcohol intake. So that's a pretty cool tip in there that you can take.
And somebody wrote in here that the strawberry and cream is the best. I couldn't agree more. And a little fun fact about that, when I connected with the brand rep, is that that's Steve Aoki's collaboration with them, who is a big DJ. And that launch was supposed to be for this summer or the spring for Coachella, which I believe was this weekend.
Yeah.
And all of the music festivals that are right now on the West Coast, that's why they launched it. And obviously those didn't happen, so they're really pushing. I believe they're giving a free one in every purchase right now, and I tried it, and I was like, why didn't I order more of this? So I highly recommend that one. It's delicious.
I've never tried it. I'm excited to try them.
Yeah, and you can also have
Goodie
vitamin
bag.
C when you finish drinking because it'll attach with acetaldehyde and it'll help take the alcohol out quicker. So vitamin C and electrolytes. Literally one of the many reasons I went to school for nutrition. I want to see how to get rid of a hangover quicker, right? No one wants to be working at the hungover. Not learn it, but I figured it out afterwards.
Oh, vitamin C. Okay. I'm going to try that. I'll text you tomorrow morning. Al, are you ready to cheers?
Well, I am going, Sean is being very extra, and he wanted a margarita using Swoon, and he wants a spicy salted rim, not just a salted rim.
Sean is so extra all the time.
He's my favorite. I think Sean's one of my favorite people.
Thank you.
Guys, anybody watching, turn your cameras on.
Wait, honestly,
Yeah,
though,
please.
everybody should say thank you, Sean, because he's a doctor and working during these very stressful
Thanks.
times.
Thank you,
Wow.
Sean.
You're
Really
not
though,
working
Sean, thank you
Yeah,
so
let's see
much.
Yay, Elizabeth, Angela, what's up?
Yeah.
Darlene.
Angela, what's going on? We got Darlene in here in the house. What's
You know,
going
we're
on?
also getting
That's one of my
to
clients.
hear
So happy to see you guys on here.
You
Nice
have
to
no
put like a
idea
face to
how
the
much
name.
this means to us guys. in healthcare.
Angela wanted to say something. Go ahead.
I want a margarita. I need that recipe for the spicy rim and all the stuff because that's my jam.
Oh, awesome.
Ooh.
There you go.
All we did was we used this Espolón tequila. I love this one. It's like a pretty good price point, but really, really smooth. And then a lime. I just cut it and where's that squeezer? This thing.
Nice.
You can squeeze it yourself, but it gets all the lime juice out. And then what else you put?
I just did a splash of that,
The swoon simple syrup.
and I did the
And
tiniest drop of
He
this.
wanted to put a splash of grenadine in it.
Oh, nice.
A little extra, huh?
Would you use
Yeah, super extra.
I usually would do muddled jalapenos,
It's so nice and pretty.
but we didn't have because of the quarantine.
Oh, I get wasted with one margarita. That's all I need. I'm a bad drinker. Oof. Don't take me out to eat. That's a different story.
Great.
There you
I'm a
go.
big fan of really dark beers, but we only have one left in the house right now, and Matt said that we had to share it. So, and he's working out right now, so I'm having wine. I feel really boring.
That's
It's like
awesome.
a tragedy. We have one left,
Yeah.
Great. I love it.
Quarantine problems.
right?
Oh, I know.
No, seriously, like I just went, there was 2 closed liquor stores and it's just, you can't just go out and come back in anymore. It was just very stressful. I forgot my mask. I didn't have my gloves. I was freaking out.
Come on, Tony.
Right
Clean it up.
side.
Can you just
Right
pour that
side of this
tequila
plate.
in my mouth? Can I buy it? You just pour it in. I'll just run back home.
Like, no, but the best part was I asked them for 4 shots and 2 separate things. And then after I paid for it, I'm like, they should have just made me the drink. Like, why did I just ask for 2 things of tequila with seltzer
I didn't even
water
know you could do that.
and lime juice? Like, I was so hooked on, like, I was going to go get a bottle of tequila and I was going to make my own drink that I,
Yeah.
forgot that was an option, that the bartender knew how to make it. Like, I could have just did that.
Well, I guess like one really positive things about this quarantine is the fact that your alcohol like spending, because now you cannot really get it from bars or from clubs and stuff like that. It has completely reduced because of the fact that you now have to make your own drinks.
Or even just
So-
going out to, even going out to dinner when you usually go out, like me and Bruce would easily eat a couple times in a weekend. That's a few $100s that we're no longer spending.
Easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. There you go. That's helpful.
Sure.
So true.
And go to healthy groceries instead.
Buy toilet paper.
You need to come over here. You seem so fun.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the whole toilet paper thing.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I just ran out of paper towels. So
That was the worst.
Those are
We
not-
ran out of them.
not
I
charged yet.
hope that my store near me has them. Cause
Go to a small, like a bodega. That's what I did. And they had.
all
How
right.
often do you go to bodegas, Alex? You don't seem as a bodega type of person.
Oh, I'm a bodega girl. I go in and I read all of the nutrition facts on, we have a Hispanic market right down the block. And I found the passion fruit puree there that you told me about.
Ooh,
Nice.
yes.
That's
Yep.
awesome. There's the inner Hispanic in you, Alex.
I know.
Jeez.
Y'all might
Don't make Jenna jealous.
I'm here. I'm ready. I'm dressed up.
I know. Can you believe you put on clothes too today?
I was sitting here at my desk though, and I've done like 2 photo shoots. And I have a picture of me and my family, and I'm wearing this shirt. And then the other picture, I was wearing the shirt that I was gonna wear this morning that was in my presentation. And I was like, wow, people are gonna think I have 2 shirts. Like, that's it.
Wow.
That's all I wear.
Oh my god.
So
I guess
bad.
we can maybe share. I was actually gonna ask, like, what are some of the things that you guys are doing for fun these days now that you're kind of like locked up at home? Because I think it would be a cool opportunity to kind of share ideas. Because we've been trying to get resourceful on ways that we can kind of entertain ourselves, like being at home.
Why
So-
doesn't Phoebe lead this talk?
Ooh,
In
listen.
fact, You get, oh, there you go. There's Monopoly
It's
for
called Monopoly
millennials.
for Millennials, and you get a participation trophy. And then, there's one of the spaces, a week-long meditation retreat, parents' basement,
Gosh.
friend's couch. Yep, adulting is hard. You deserve a break from the rat race.
It's true.
There's a vegan bistro. How funny is that? I got it on Amazon.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
amazing.
that is
cool.
hilarious.
Right?
Oh my
Hey,
God.
instead of you, Andres, asking for ideas what to do, you're the one that has to give us the idea because between you and GB, you guys
Oh,
come up with some
it's Gibi.
crazy
Like,
things.
she's the one. So like, okay, so we have a rule here at the house. So, and, you know, we usually plan out a date night every single week, right? So it's a good way to kind of strengthen our relationship and stuff like that. So we've been doing that for maybe like 2 to 3 months. And of course, in the past, he was like, okay, like I made this like long list of things that we could do, but all of them are actually somewhere, like going to someplace. So that was very difficult. So we had to get creative, except I'm not creative and GB is. So she's the one that comes out with this terrific plan. So like day one after during this quarantine, and she's planning date night. So I walk out to like outside of my house, and there's like this little like bar she set up. And there's like a little restaurant. She print out like little signs that have little GB's restaurant. And she created like this like snack bar. She created all these different things and turned our house outside of our house into a little bar lounge area with music. And I'm like, okay, wow, that's awesome. And then the next week comes and I go and it's like, oh, how about we watch Disney and then eat sushi and tequeños? And that was what I did. So that was that was for me kind of like
after the workout, right?
Yeah. And then yesterday she goes and I walk into our four bedroom that we have in here, and literally she has like these canvases, and I think I talked about it earlier. So we did like paint with a twist, and she led a class with me and my brother. He's also here. So we painted, and we literally spent 2 hours doing that. So she's really good. She's thinking of becoming a date night consultant for people, for couples.
Actually, that's a great idea.
Dude, I need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice
I saw somebody did like they created a like kind of like wine of the world, and they did like a wine tour, and they intentionally got like certain bottles of wine from different countries with like different food pairings. And like, I mean, I don't know, I couldn't really do that in my 1-bedroom apartment, but in a really nice house, like they made it like actually like a wine tour. I feel like that could be an example if you like wine. I don't know, but that's really all I got with ideas. Other than that, Evie's the person to go to.
I'm doing a paint by number of a beagle.
There you go.
My dog is happy.
I want one of those.
Yeah, Amazon. Do you want to paint?
Wait, what is that?
What is that?
Number?
Paint by number.
You never did them?
No.
So all the spaces have a different number, and it corresponds to a paint color.
No.
Oh, wow. Oh my God, that reminds me of my childhood.
Yeah.
What?
Sounds sad.
She has really good ideas in here. She says like, you know, she said playing piano, learning language, learning new things like camera cookie recipes, can play scavenger hunts. That's not a bad thing. That's be a good fun.
Oh, that's scavenger hunt can go many different ways.
Yeah.
Puzzles.
As long as you're 6 feet away.
Assume scavenger hunt. Yeah, I think they did that yesterday somewhere.
We've actually been doing something similar. My parents have been doing Zoom like book lessons with my little girl and her cousins. So they've been reading like Spanish books and other things because you know my family's not fluent per se. So teaching them that has been really cool.
Nice.
That's so nice. Well, actually, one tip, random, but if you have a library membership, you can access Kindle books a lot of times. So Kindle and audiobooks are free. And I've been using that. So that's been nice because Kindle books are like $15 each. So I usually do one audiobook that I'll listen when I'm cleaning or doing things around the house, and then a Kindle book. That little tip.
Yeah.
What are you listening to now?
What?
What are you listening to now?
So I am actually doing an NLP book.
Yes.
I like
That
the
nutrition thing.
character.
Oh my God, that's
Neural
so
linguistic programming.
be prepared for the influx baby showers.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, for sure.
A lot of baby showers.
Who did I say that to? I said that to Andre the other day. We were doing like a chat, and I said, yeah, all the Corona babies, they're on their way. Like, what else are you gonna do?
There's some of the coronials. That's what they were going to be called.
Coronials.
I haven't heard that.
Coronial.
That's it.
Dude,
Use
the
protection.
struggle is real, man. Struggle is real.
What about workouts? What work other than Matt? Coach Matt is amazing. If you were here this morning, what other, Jenna, you're doing some.
Yes, if anybody wants to hop in, I do a workout, a coordinated Zoom workout with one of my trainers 4 times per week. They're free. If you guys want to pop your emails in here, I can add you into our list for the schedule goes out every Sunday. You do need a set of dumbbells and a band, preferably. So that will help. It's more of strength training. Primarily women, but men are definitely invited as well. So I will take all emails and then you guys can choose. But the Peloton app, I never used the outdoor audio before for running. If anybody has tried like on a treadmill, if you don't have the Peloton, you can still use their app. And the outdoor audio for runs is amazing because they tell you when to turn around. Like, so if you're running for 30 minutes, she'll be like, all right, it's been 15 minutes. If you're doing an out and back, turn around now, which for me has been so helpful because sometimes I don't want to look at my watch because it's like, oh my God, you've only been running for 30 seconds. Like, stop staring at this. So it takes that pressure away from me too. So that's super helpful. And right now, as Alex said, it's free.
Nice.
Yeah, and the Nike Running Club app, I actually just started using it. And Coach Bennett is the person who talks in your ear, and he literally makes you feel like you are the most amazing person on this planet. Like, he just literally always says the right things. He's constantly just like keeping you focused on your run, not beating yourself up, having you pace yourself. And I find it very encouraging because right now we can't go to a class where you're usually like working with an instructor where they're like talking to you and working through with you unless you're doing like a live course or something like a live workout. So the Nike Running Club app is very similar, and you can, it's free right now to do like actually their program. So if you want to like pretend you're training for a 5K or actually train for a 5K, you could sign up and then it will give you specific types of running plans based off of what your goals are.
Nice.
Or you can
There's also the
come
Nike
hang
Training
out
Club one too.
with
Oh
us.
yeah, and then there's so there's Nike Running Club, which is for running, and then the Nike Training Club, which
Training,
is
yeah.
like just workouts.
Or you can come hang out with me at my 5:30 a.m. class, my 9:30 a.m. class, and a 4:30 p.m. class at the gym on a Zoom call.
So Angela,
Nice.
for those of you guys that don't know, Angela, she's a client of mine, and she's also a CrossFit gym owner. So she does she's obviously transitioned all of her classes to like an online setting. So we'll definitely give you her information in case you want to join her classes. And she does them out of your living room, right? With very minimal equipment.
Yeah, I have a small apartment just like you, Tony, and I am out of my living room. That's why I work.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah. So we'll give you her information in case you want to join any of her classes as well. So what we're gonna do, guys, is we're probably gonna send out, since we have all your emails. We promise we're not gonna spam you. We just want to make sure we send you information about, for example, all of us. Anything that we talked about, our personal information, so you can contact us if you have any questions. Of course, if you want to follow us on our social media channels and what we do, to make sure that you kind of get access to all that. And anything that we talked about that was helpful, that we'll make notes to make sure that we kind of send you that information as well. Cool.
Is Sean
Silence.
making another drink?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did another
Bring
one.
back the grenadine, huh?
There it comes.
There it is, Sean. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah.
He's
I
been
wish
waiting
I
to
could
meet.
take a
Well,
drunk
so
very
Sean actually booked a class. What was it through?
What I booked.
A cocktail class?
Oh, Rain's Law
He
Room.
booked like a cocktail class from this speakeasy bar, Rain's Law Room in the city, and he's on their email list. And it was for today at 2:00, and I'm like, I can't come to that. So, but I think there are some like restaurants and bars are offering cooking classes and cocktail classes. So we're rescheduling that.
There's also a website I think it's like what I have in my house or something. I saw this on TikTok, but you can like literally put in the ingredients that you have and then it'll spit out like a drink that you can make. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
How to make a
Nice.
TikTok. Let's see.
My mom ordered a keyboard, like a piano, on Amazon because she wants to learn.
Ow. I want you to teach him how to play the
She
piano.
wants to learn TikTok?
No, she wants to learn how to play the piano so she could play songs
Oh.
for my dog.
It's like there's not much to learn there.
Can you please tell us how that conversation went?
Oh,
Ow.
you see my mom this morning on the workout. She's out of control. Once she
That was
figured out
so
how to use
great.
the chat box. Oh, good for your hamstrings. Great reminder.
I love when you do your mom's impression.
Dude, your mom's impression is my favorite thing about you.
Literally, it's the best. 'Cause we
That's
can't
so
hear her when
awesome.
she's in the chat box. We need her to talk to us.
Yeah, but that's what she was saying. Oh, plank up downs. Those are very hard. We're there, team. Last one. I'm like, she is motivating.
He was. I know. I saw that. I was like, yeah, come on, let's do this. Oh my God. That's so funny.
I
Mhm.
think it's called cocktailbuilder.com.
I also saw that on TikTok.
Right? I know you did. Come on. Help me out here. Make me, or maybe it's make me a cocktail. I'll find it.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't do it the same way. 'Cause I used to bartend in college, and I can't bartend the same way that I did now because it's like, oh my God, these are way too strong. Then I'm
You
gonna need
know how
some
to make
vitamin
vodka
C
OJ,
afterwards.
Desi?
What's that?
You don't know how to make a vodka OJ anymore? You forgot?
No, dude, I can't do that anymore, man.
I
You know,
found it.
Andres
Too
used to
old.
be a bartender too, right?
I used to be a
Really?
bartender. Yeah, I used to be
Where?
like I used to practice like the guys like flip bottles and throw them in the air. That was a
Prove it.
yeah. that Let me see if I
Right
can find that
now.
picture.
Oh my gosh, I would have never thought you did that.
Oh yeah, I used to work weddings. I used to work like I actually won like one time. I did like a rum drink, and it was like they take that stuff seriously. When I was living in Venezuela, and I used to do these like competitions where you had to make a cocktail with whatever they give you, and then you just make whatever like so they give you one ingredient, and you have to make it and present it like, and there's like all this etiquette that goes along with presenting drinks. You have no idea how serious that stuff is. The alcohol industry is it's pretty serious when it comes down to that stuff. But yeah, that was a good time.
I was in Puerto Rico before all this happened, and they had stevia sweetened cocktails. And they said that the reason they got it on the menu was through one of those cocktail competitions with all the hotels in Puerto Rico participated. It was so cool.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Quincy.
Look, I can hear your name.
Oh.
You only barked today one time, and it was while I was speaking.
That's so true, though. You really just when you were talking, when nobody else was.
Yes,
That was so great.
the rest of the day, okay? The rest of the day.
I love that Matt had one job and he's just like, yeah, I'm not doing this.
Left him down here, and I see him like flying down the stairs when he heard the bark. Like, okay, cool,
Aw.
thank you. Oh my goodness. Well, this has been such an amazing day. Some of you have spent the whole day with us. Seriously, thank you so much. You have no idea.
Yeah, we have some we have some real MVPs in here. People that kind of like literally work in all and every single one of the sessions, and we're super like thankful for you, everybody, of course. But like I know that you if you were taking notes, you probably have a notebook now. You have like a full book written.
Yeah,
So,
that was amazing. Thank you guys so much.
that was definitely awesome.
Now we have new friends. It's nice because I know a lot of our clients are on here and they're, intermingling. So it's very nice to see.
Yeah, it's been great. So of course, we're gonna send out, we're also gonna send out a survey on things that obviously went well, things that didn't. You can definitely put it there.
We
Oh
know
my God.
it didn't go well. So be a little easy on us.
We know the
technological issues.
Dude, hey, Matt's the real MVP with everything, man. That meditation was like, all right, cool.
No,
I'm
it
good
honestly did change everything.
Beforehand, I was like, son of a.
Yeah, no, it was really good timing. It was really good timing. I felt like a new person after that meditation.
I agree. I so agree.
I didn't know he was so just relaxed.
He found yoga. So when we first started.
Well, but you need to talk about the fact that he works, like he's in finances, right? So I would never expect it from him to like literally he's invited to be like this like guru, like yoga meditation person. I was like, wow.
Dude,
always like that too. I mean, he works, he has a very stressful job. And when we first started dating, he used to do a lot of CrossFit. He never did yoga, and then he took a couple classes, but like just here and there. And over the past 4 years, he started teaching, and he started doing it very consistently. And the change in just him as a human being is insane. Like nothing bothers him anymore. It's almost annoying. He's so calm, and he like really understands how to manage his stress and like those breathing tactics. I'm telling you, I remember I used to tell him to stop doing his Darth Vader voice, and now I'm like, when he gets like a little bit mad, I'm like, why aren't you breathing? Like, what's happening? So it really does make a difference, and he's a very good teacher. If you guys do have the opportunity to hop into one of his classes, I put the schedule out there, but we will share that as well on the email. Because right now it's so cool. You can take so many different people's classes in places that, I took Coach Matt Smith's class on Thursday. He was in DC. I'm in New Jersey. Like, that's so cool. That is a huge benefit of this time.
Yeah,
Angela, are you in Florida?
Who? Me?
Is Angela in Florida?
Angela's in Florida.
In Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely share though the workout so we can.
Yeah, the different kinds of things. I think it's, I always tell people, like, I think this is like, they call it social distancing, but I think we're becoming more social than ever. It's just more physical distancing. So, like on Wednesday, I hopped up on a birthday Zoom call, which that's the thing now. And literally it was like all my high school friends. And on a normal birthday, like we would have just sent like, hey, happy birthday type of thing. So I think that's been pretty cool for, maybe like for people locally, it's a little bit difficult, of course, but, for those of us that kind of live far away from each other, I think it's been a really good opportunity to connect more.
Even this, I don't think we would have had a chance to do this. Like, we've been meeting every Friday for a couple hours. I can't, how we try to get a call scheduled between us, and it's usually impossible, but we were like, we have to do something. And so.
I have so much gratitude for everyone that's on this call right now. Thank you so much. Yeah. Because when we came up with this idea like a month ago, I was like, I don't know if it's going to work, but this is our heart. So here you go.
And I think I can speak for all of us that when we're able to meet in person again, we will probably do this live in a state that's maybe in medium distance from all of us. Or maybe in Florida, or maybe in New York,
Florida.
or New Jersey.
Florida.
I mean, I don't care. It's definitely something that we could make, I think, a full day, almost like a weekend retreat type of a thing for you guys, and really do more maybe like workshops, interactive things, and really go deeper into like your individual nutrition needs. I definitely think that this is something that came together for 100%. A reason, and it's not going to be the first Nutrition Unfiltered Summit. Trust on that.
Oh, yeah. This is the first one, and I think
we have to go to Florida because we can go to Carol Baskin's house.
Oh my God!
This neighbor
next door to Andres.
I'm gonna send a picture. Like literally, it looks like it's. So it has like cool, like big like
things that GB said.
It has two big statues of like cats, like those big ones that you can see on her. But I don't know if they're those ones, but you can see those type of like statues on her like house. And then number two, it has a big C like as Carol outside of the house. And then when you go by it and there's like the gate, it says, we are not afraid to shoot people, like something like that.
No way.
Yeah,
Sounds like her.
And she was in
Sounds like Florida.
Clearwater, Tampa, whatever, where she was.
Yeah, yeah, her thing,
It's
like
her.
the big cat rescue, it's like 5 miles away from our house. It's like 18 minutes away. So
Can you go?
I
Is
don't
it open
want
to the public?
to.
I don't think it's open right now, Alex. I don't know if you heard of social.
Not now.
Go by, drive by.
Tigers,
Yeah.
because all the tigers at the Bronx Zoo got coronavirus. Yeah.
I know.
Wait, what?
So who's checking on the big cat rescue? Carol.
Yeah.
Bassett?
Tigers in the Bronx Zoo got coronavirus.
Well, I mean, I don't think Florida's gotten the memo of social distancing yet. I just saw like a meme from the fat Jewish that read that something along the lines of like, if you could choose one state to sacrifice it to completely eradicate coronavirus, which one would you choose and why Florida?
Yeah.
Well, because they opened up like the beaches or something again.
Yeah.
No,
it's
that
crazy.
makes absolutely no sense.
That's
Wait, they did?
only
Yeah.
Florida.
Mm-hmm. Only Florida.
By the way, you guys might find this interesting if you watch Tiger King. Apparently, I haven't watched it yet, but there's an inside TMZ investigates the Tiger King on Hulu. It's 43. It's like just like 45 minutes, and so, but apparently it's like very sad because it shows you all the things they didn't show us on Netflix of actually how they treat the animals.
I will not watch any
I
Tiger.
don't want to ruin it.
I know
Done.
it's sad. It's like funny to make a joke of it, but it's like serious stuff. So I just want to make sure that everyone's clear that we understand that it's like serious.
I had tried to watch it.
Fun
but
to
I
joke
think I
about,
have
but it's
2 minutes.
It's crazy at the same time.
Too tired.
I'd
I'd
rather
rather
watch
I'd
Lion
rather watch Lion King.
And
I would
I'd
too.
rather watch
Love
Lion
Lion
King.
Totally.
Lion King.
Lion King
huh?
is my favorite. Literally
Yeah.
best.
I did watch Love is Blind though, and I'm not gonna lie, I did enjoy
course.
that. That's
Yeah.
one I see. I actually have one more episode left, I think, but there's like the meme of I think it was Jessica feeding her dog wine. Like, what is wrong with these people?
I heard it like if you wanted to really get a good cry, you're gonna need to watch a movie, something about Mile like 17 or something like that on Netflix. Like I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but it's like a super like
Dude,
I don't
go
know if
watch
it's-
Onward. If you
I
want to
don't know
cry.
what to call.
I cry at like everything now. I cried. I took a Peloton Lizzo ride and I cried. I can't.
What? Send it.
I feel so
We're
empowered.
laughing and we're joking, but we're in a very serious time. I've cried for no reason too. Like just things are just so sad right now around us. I get you.
I
Alex.
cry all
Okay.
the time, so you guys have all seen me cry. So yeah, I'm a crier.
Like that about you. Matt just wanted to say goodbye to everybody who's still on.
Matt,
Thanks for coming,
Thank you,
bro.
Matt,
That
for saving
meditation was
the day.
fire.
MVP man.
Namaste, bro. Namaste, brother.
I was actually just telling how you never used to be this then and how it's really changed you.
Oh, thanks. Well, thank you guys so much for letting me be a part of this. I mean, what an incredible event. You guys should be so proud. And like I said, I'm like really thankful to have just been a part of it. And
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm gonna do one of your classes, dude. That was amazing.
Anytime, brother.
Let's all try to do one together.
Yeah.
You guys.
Sweet.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Aw.
I told him I couldn't drink the dark beer without you. I'm waiting for it. I'm counting down the minutes.
And what's everyone doing for dinner?
Oh my God, twins, Al. What are you making for dinner?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it.
Nachos.
Sean, this is how I know when Sean wants to
Ooh.
order. I'll ask about 5 times and he'll be like, I don't know. I don't really know right now. I'm not that hungry. He gets hungry and the second he gets hungry, he wants to eat. Like, I need lead time.
See, my box of Automat tomato sauce literally just got delivered, and it's the new spicy one. So I feel like I want to.
Dude, you blew my mind with the whole tomato spelled backwards. I was like,
Well, I was
I know.
at a nutrition conference, and I was like, I don't get it. Like, why is it Automat? And they were like, it's tomato. And I was like, no, it's not. And they were like, no, but it's tomato spelled backwards. I'm like, oh my God.
I shockingly did know that, but it's something I wouldn't have picked up on.
You have to give me a little.
Lasagna and Caesar salad sounds amazing.
yeah, the garlic shrimp roasted veggies.
and
Damn.
rice. Sounds
Ooh,
amazing.
who's eating lasagna?
That's a
Ooh.
good idea.
Send over and
Eggplant
send in
spicy
the plate.
stir fry with basmati rice.
Eggplant, spicy. Ooh.
Chicken with zucchini and quinoa. Mm.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
I think I might make like a flat
It's balsamic chicken. I will say that. I should have said that in there.
Yeah.
So a fun way to flavor lots of your proteins is actually marinating them in balsamic vinegar. And even like Brussels sprouts, it's a real game changer. Like it really just enhances the flavor so much different. So I should have said that, but the grilled chicken was actually pre-seasoned with garlic powder, balsamic vinegar. And honestly, I think that, yeah, and that's really it. And a little bit of olive oil. So it makes a big difference.
How long do you marinate it for?
Today, just like a couple hours. So fun fact, so obviously the longer you marinate it, the more the flavor is going to be. Today I just did it for a couple hours, but if you are going to you want to make it right away, you put it in a big, like a Ziploc bag, and you just kind of mush it around and all the different herbs and spices and flavors. And that actually gets it into the meat. So if you don't want to wait and you want to just kind of get that flavor in really quick, that's a good way to do it. If you're doing things like grilling and baking, because otherwise you're going to lose a lot of the flavors. So it's helpful that way.
Callie's here.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
Where's Rory?
I know.
He's being a mom still.
Gosh, proof fettuccine.
She's being a mom.
We're playing family, and so she's the mom, and she's yelling, "Baby, get back in here!"
That's amazing.
He is the MVP.
Best part of the day. He was the best part of the day.
She literally looks like the perfect mix of you two. It's crazy.
I know.
It's crazy. Oh, I hear her.
Yeah.
The baby is not being a good baby.
Not listening at all. I'm giving her a taste of medicine.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Somebody asking here, is it healthier? Oh, Andrew, a quick question: is it healthier not to not cook with oil? I can bake chicken and fish by putting it on the parchment paper, and it doesn't stick to the parchment paper. Well, I don't know. Somebody can answer, but I don't think it's unhealthy to cook with oil. It's just obviously a matter of how much you're adding into it.
Yeah, and also too, I think a lot of times people will neglect the oils in their cooking, and I understand. We definitely want to be mindful of that heavy hand. You want to portion it, but a lot of nutrients, believe it or not, are not going to be absorbed without having some sort of fat to help. A lot of vitamins are what we call fat soluble. So by neglecting that fat in most of your meals, you're not going to benefit. You're getting those micronutrients. So I'm a big proponent of cooking with fat, but being mindful of maybe measuring it if you're more on like a weight management plan, or you're just a fearful where you think that you just overdo it.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think be mindful of other fat sources in the meal. So I always say for me, like, there's nothing wrong with oil, but I'd rather add cheese or avocado.
Right,
so
that's a good point.
What I do, I'm gonna pull it out here, is
point,
wheat spray oils.
Yeah.
I love that. That's my favorite.
So
I
good.
like 2 or 3 of those things in Trader Joe's.
And the only ingredient is the organic extra virgin olive oil, so there's no propellants. So it's just an easier way to portion your oil. Or I keep a couple spray bottles with different types of oil. This is just olive oil. I have truffle oil. I have avocado oil. So it just helps you portion it a little bit. But some foods need oil. So when you're cooking.
Like I used that spray today to make a cauliflower fried rice. It came out so good. I was teaching one of my nutrition clients how to do cauliflower fried rice because she saw a picture of mine. She says, "So how do you make it?" I said, "Let me show you." Zoom call. So we got into a Zoom call and I taught her how to do it.
That's awesome. Yeah, cauliflower rice is a pretty good way to add a lot of value, man. And I feel like it fills me up a lot. So.
And the air fryer with the spray oil, I'm telling you, gives that crunchy coat on anything you put in there. It's so good. If you hate tofu, that in the air fryer with a little oil sprayed on it will change your mind. You could be like Rory and love it.
Jenna, how big is the air fryer? Like, because I feel like you make me want to buy one, but I don't have the kitchen space. But I'm wondering if it sounds like you use it so much that I feel like I would use it that much that it's worth
it literally every day, pretty much every meal. But you can buy different sized ones. Like you can buy a small one. I have, I think, a 7-quart one. Like it's like the medium sized one. But it's like when we bought it, it was like, oh, we'll put it away after each use, and it just stays.
I see one. I want to get one too. I don't have one, Tony, so I've
I'll
been
show you guys like
getting one.
the one that we use. It's a little expensive.
Oh,
Well,
Alex, look at Alex's video. Yeah, she's
I was
showing
like,
the.
oh,
It's like size of that. That one, I saw GB cooking with that on Instagram the other day. That looks awesome.
Is that smaller
Yeah,
than
it
yours,
is, like-
Jenna?
That one's
can
awesome
actually,
because you can
like,
flip it up. Yeah.
Wow.
Smaller than yours?
That's the Ninja.
that's
Oh.
an Ninja, and she also has
better?
like the.
I have a Ninja too, but a
She also
different
has
one.
like the. This is like this thing like washes clothes and everything almost.
What is that?
Right?
It's kind of like the slow cooker, but then he has like pressure stick. You can even make
Is it
yogurt.
an Instant
here.
Pot? Okay.
Like
yeah.
yeah, it's Ninja. Yeah,
Okay.
That's the Ninja Foodie, right?
that's a Ninja Foodie, and then so they came up with the two options. So they have like the actual oven one, and then they have the other one. But it cooks things amazingly. Like you
I
can
really
make-
The Instapot? Is that what it is? The Instapot?
It's something like that, but it's like well, I'm not gonna say overpriced because I think it's worth it, but it has so many different features.
Value.
But yeah,
But the air fryer is like the Ferrari of the air fryers.
yeah. The oven one is awesome because you can use it. We don't really use our conventional oven anymore as much because we have that unless we're making something big or something in large batch. And it works super well. I think it's like I believe it's like $200. But definitely a really good investment if you save for it or if you have it. We use it for everything.
Yeah, I love the air fryer, and it's dishwasher safe, which is very important to me.
Yes.
I have like a
you.
waffle iron. I was talking to one of my clients the other day. She's like, "What do you do with the waffle iron?" I'm like, "I don't use it because I hate washing it." So
Yeah.
It's true. It's a lot to do.
it's a mess.
In this
Yeah.
chat, we're talking about tofu right now. So there's different levels of tofu, just as like how it comes in the package. Anything that's silken tofu, like Desi was saying, that's the softer versions of tofu. It's not as thick in the brick. That can be used in smoothies to add protein, or like Desi was saying, things like macaroni and cheese. Like I've never thought of that. It's a genius.
Chocolate pudding.
Pudding,
Ooh.
yes, like
I have a recipe for
good
that.
soft recipes, but the firmer, you want to go like extra firm, super firm, whatever brand you're purchasing, however they classify it, because that's going to provide like it's more of like the brick, and then you don't have to soak it or press out the water as much. And that's the ones that I cut and then just put right into the air fryer.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we-
tofu is a good protein right now
Well,
because
I think a good also like really good I think it's like a meal prep idea is like we one sheet pans and we use that air fryer for that. So essentially we put all components in there. So for example, like I call it like the rule of three. So like the protein, the carb, and then the vegetable. So in one pan we put chicken, for example, all chopped up or something like that, or fish. And then we put in another row like chopped up sweet potatoes, and then the other one some vegetables, and we put the whole thing in 30 minutes, and you have a full meal ready, and the only thing you did was just chopped up stuff, and you don't have to do anything else. So that's a pretty good meal prepping idea. If you guys have you can even make this in an oven. Like you don't need an air fryer for it, but that's something simple that you can do.
I love those kind of meals.
Mm-hmm.
Now, something we've been doing too that it's been a lot of fun is doing the different cultural nights where you don't typically do it. So you pick a culture and you're like, well, let's look that up, which brings out everything that literally we all talk about, which is that food enjoyment piece. I mean, if you're not spending this time learning or trying to progress, you're remiss if you're not doing that. So those are things that we've been doing that actually been a lot of fun.
What cultures have you done, Desi?
So last night
You
we
say
did
Mexican, I'm
Indian.
gonna slap you.
Jenna's like,
Desi is Mexican.
Yeah, he's gonna say Mexican, Italian. You ever heard of those? Very
no, we did
different
Indian.
cultures.
We did Indian. We really love making ramen too, because we'll make some different things there. You know what? Actually, we used to do Vietnamese a lot. Now I'm gonna start doing that again. We used to make the wraps, which was so amazing.
Like the spring rolls?
Yeah.
Fire.
You get like the rice paper. You kind of like put in the water, let it do its thing, and then it's just like a Vietnamese burrito.
Yeah, we went.
So back to Mexican again, Desi, huh? Can't get away from it.
We did a cooking class. I think it was in Bali and Indonesia, and they literally kind of showed us how to do the full, like the wrapping the paper and everything, and how to fry it and all that kind of stuff like that. And it's a lot of work. It's not as easy as kind of putting things inside of it, or I guess like the right way to do it supposedly. But that's a good meal, or a snack, or whatever you want to call that.
Dude, can we talk more about GB's date ideas, please?
Yeah, we need them.
I don't even know what
Where is
the other
GB?
one that she's done.
Yeah, where's
She's
GB?
working out,
right
isn't
now.
she?
She's working out
Okay.
with my brother. She's like, I didn't get a workout in this morning, so she was like busy trying to like prep for like her cooking class. So
So many of my clients sent me pictures today that they made it. So make sure she knows how amazing
oh,
she
that's
is.
awesome.
It was
Yeah,
also so relatable and sweet when she said that she doesn't do this because she's shy, because she was such a natural. So make sure you give her the biggest hug later from all of us.
oh, I
She's
will.
awesome, dude.
Love
Yeah,
you.
I just put her blog in there because she's just trying to kind of like she's trying to populate it a little bit more.
Please.
This is
I
being
saw a
like
recipe
super-
there today that it was for banana bread chocolate marble muffins.
Yeah, that
They
was
look really good.
Yeah, that was a really good one. It was a pretty like popular one among a lot of people, and she's done all kinds of different things like that. I think like the one recipe that got a lot of like traffic for her was I think it was like a some sort of like croissant that she made. That was
I
like
remember that.
I think it was like a low carb croissant, and like it was amazing. It literally tasted better than a bakery. So yeah, she loves. And she has this like ability to be able to kind of combine things like out of the blue. Like I was like, oh, I have like a craving for something sweet, and she just kind of whip out this like mug cake that she made in like 3 minutes, and I'm like, how did you do this? Like so she's just really good at like coming up with the ingredients and putting them together.
I
So
like the backstory behind the More Than Cocos. I didn't know that. I thought it was cool hearing that.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right,
Awesome.
guys. So
Yeah.
are there any other questions?
Yeah, we can go ahead and start to kind of wrap it up for
We're
the
gonna wrap it up
day.
for the day.
And, yeah,
Not before JJ says what's up to everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
JP's another
JJ,
fellow
you
guy.
know, good.
What's up, everyone?
What's up?
All right, now we can say
Yo.
bye, I think.
Hello.
Did you,
I'm coming on at the last minute here.
yeah, you just wanted
What's
to
up?
join in for the alcohol. That's all.
I don't even drink.
Yeah, right.
That's the
I just
thing.
wanted to say hi to you guys and support you.
Thank you.
I was trying to join earlier and having some technical difficulties, so I just took like a 3-hour
we know all
bath and it
about
was
those.
wonderful. So
Nice.
That's awesome. Thank you for joining.
yeah, but hope
Yeah.
today went well for you guys.
It did. It was great.
It did. It started off rocky, but
I can't believe how fast the day went, though. It went by so fast.
it did.
It really
we
did.
learn how to pivot. So
Like Ross from Friends.
good. Well, if you don't have any more questions, we're gonna go ahead and close it up for the day. I don't know if like the news speakers want to kind of stay in and hang around for like just a couple more minutes, just so we can debrief.
Just get another drink.